90-liter fridge sounds huge on paper, but what actually fits depends entirely on how you load it. Today we're going to take a look at my National Luna 90-liter dual compartment fridge freezer, and I'm going to talk about exactly what fits in it and how I pack it for a trip. Coming up, I'm Drew, and this is Evergreen Overland. We help overlanders out themselves for adventure through honest gear reviews and vehicle mod tutorials. I've owned this National Luna for about 5 years now, and it's seen a ton of use and still just looks as good as the day I got it. I bought it because I pretty much outgrew my 50-quart ARB fridge, and I went with National Luna just because of its legacy of dependability and consistency in temperature. Now, I'm super passionate about food. I do a ton of cooking when I go out, and the reason I went with a 90-liter was I was building the truck out, coming from an 87 pickup. I just had so much room to properly lay things out and properly look at what I wanted and what was important to me. And what was really important was the proper kitchen setup so that I could utilize it appropriately and kind of streamlined in the right flow of things, and then just really not be restricted on capacity. A 90-liter fridge is probably pretty big for most, but what I found is it is the perfect size for me. I think there's only one size bigger than this. I want to say there's 110 liter. So real quick, I wanted to get some terminology correct because there are different style fridges out there. There are a lot of fridges out there in the market and a couple of key specific styles that I would speak to. I consider this like a bunker style, meaning it's kind of like a chest freezer that you might have out in your garage or something like that. They're pretty efficient because they're deep and the cool air stays in there. It doesn't spill out when you open up the lid. The other two would be like drawer style fridges that open kind of like a drawer would, and you access that horizontally, kind of like this as well for the most part. And then lastly, like a door style fridge, you know, more like what you'd have at home, smaller, more compact, kind of like more so in the RV market. I don't have any personal experience building out a rig with anything but bunker style fridges, so for the purpose of this video, everything I'm discussing is really focused around bunker style fridges. Hey, real quick, join the email list, description section of this video. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be launching something pretty cool for the community that I'm excited to share with you guys. You're not going to want to miss it. Back to the video. So with all the different varieties on the market, there's a ton of different configurations to these type of fridges. A lot of manufacturers have dual zone options or single zone options, and you can usually control them independently, meaning you can set up one as a refrigerator and one as a freezer. That's what this one can do, but it's very rare that I ever use this thing for an actual freezer. That doesn't mean I don't have a way of keeping some stuff frozen in this. We will talk about that here in a minute. Mostly, I'm using this thing as two different fridges, and typically I'll have one side a little bit colder than the other based on kind of what we're going to get into here. Now, most of these fridge freezers come with some sort of baskets in them or some sort of divider kit, and not all are created equal in my mind. I really like the National Luna ones. They do a couple different functions. One, they allow for airflow around all of your food to maintain a more consistent temperature. They also allow you the ability to take them out and bring them to wherever you're going to need to implement them, whether that's loading them up or unloading them at your fridge at home. This 90-liter National Luna comes with 5 different baskets, 2 that are this size, and 3 that are probably 2/3 of that size, designed to fit in 2 different locations. The reason these ones are smaller is because they fit around the actual built-in compressor compartment in the fridge. I'm going to go through each one of these compartments, and as I do it, I'm going to talk about how the semi-common and relatable products that you might be purchasing and you might be familiar with actually load into this thing and how much space that actually takes up. This compartment here, I pretty much keep at 36 degrees. It should never refreeze on me whatsoever at that temperature. And the back one, I keep at 34 to 33, depending on what I have in there. Let's talk about how I load this section up here. The top basket, I primarily keep loaded with mostly fresh or to-be-cooked vegetables. So up here, I'm housing currently a full head of iceberg lettuce, a little bushel of vine-ripe tomatoes, Costco frozen broccoli, Costco colored carrot here. This is like 2 pounds of carrots, thing of broccoli, snap peas, 2.5 pound thing of cheddar. I wouldn't necessarily bring full-size bags like this. I tend to do a decent amount of prep before I ever get out onto the trail just to speed things up and be more efficient. But I wanted to leave everything in here so you could equate what actually fits in there. This is a lot of volume right here. There you go. Honestly, there's still a little room up there. Next, that'll bring me to my meat compartment. Keep all my raw meat on the bottom because if anything's gonna thaw and drip out, I don't want it dripping onto anything that's not gonna get cooked. In here right now, you got 4 kielbasa, 8 hot dogs, 10 third-pound burger patties, thing of bacon, 1 pound, 2-pound grass-fed beef, 22-ounce thing of Costco beef, and 2 ribeye steaks. This is basically showing you that all this meat is probably only filling up 2/3 of the capacity of this basket. All right, so now when we move on to this side of the fridge, it's kind of the general quick grab and go and snacking type of category. You can see this guy is pretty well full, but we got a lot in here. We got a whole thing of salami. We got the wine for the wife, of course, a whole bunch of cheese sticks, 2 giant things of deli meat, 2 things of sliced cheese, thing of sour cream, cold brew that I might need tonight, 2 things of milk for the kids, and an orange juice. Now, this compartment is really what I utilize for mostly like that lunch stop, quick grab and go, grab some stuff to make a quick sandwich, grab a snack real quick, and get back on the road. One thing to note, 1/2 gallons of milk. So technically this fits in there. This is just a lot of milk to bring on a trip. These containers and this quantity is a little bit more realistic. But if you needed to know, these bins will fit a 1/2 gallon of milk pretty well. Go. Again, a little bit more room to spare. So here's my drink bin. I've been trying to stop drinking out of plastic bottles that get heated up. So I keep one of these hydro flasks in here to have cold water to refill some of our bottles that we use on the inside of the truck cab on the go. I've been trialing out moving all my main water containers into stainless steel jerry cans. Basically, when it makes sense to, I transfer water from the stainless steel jerry can into this hydro flask, and for whatever reason I want, super cold water, I pull it out of this guy. This right now is holding 1, 2, 3, cold brew, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 12-ounce cans and a cold brew can. That's a fair amount of capacity to have on hand cold, and as you're drinking, you're just refilling with ambient temperature beverages of your choice. Works out super well. This last bin's kind of a unique one. Like I said, I do keep some things frozen in this. When I go out, if I'm gonna have a whiskey or something like that, I do like to have a little bit of ice in it. Inside here, I keep a little baggie of ice. This is the reason why I keep this side just above freezing. Oh, and of course, a little thing of ice cream in there. Keeping ice cream in here when it's not in freezer mode is generous. I actually put this in here today to do a little bit of a test. I've never tried keeping ice cream. I mostly built this for the ice pack. So when I got the 90-liter National Luna, I took that awesome styrofoam that's packed around it to protect it in shipping, covered it all in Reflectix and aluminum tape, and made a little insulated additional bin to drop in to one of these crates. Being that it's in the very bottom of the compartment, that's where all the coldest air is, and this little cooler inside of a refrigerator situation just helps to keep the ice area insulated, and I've kept ice in there for over a week before with it still maintaining cubes that you could absolutely use in your drink. So cool little hack. I don't know if you could do it in whatever fridge you're using, but it works pretty well in mine. One thing that I actually forgot is that there is a size difference in these baskets on this side of this compartment. This guy is probably 1.5 inches deeper than these two, but still a great capacity to work with. Now, one category of refrigeration that you didn't see here is stuff like condiments. As I said before, my kid is allergic to egg, so we just don't typically use a lot of the egg-based stuff, salad dressings that are egg-based, mayonnaise, etc. And if we do, it's usually in small enough quantities that packing a big old thing of it doesn't really make sense. And for those, we usually just load up a little thing of shelf-stable packets that you'd get from the convenience store, or like the little dip cups that you'd get from, a fast food place or whatever it might be. They're all shelf stable, which is nice, and it just kind of makes it easy. Now, I totally will throw a thing of ketchup in here, throw a thing of mustard in here, throw some relish, pickles, and fit it in where it makes sense. So I don't really ever pack quite this much food. I go on shorter trips, shorter outings, and even if I did a longer outing, be it a week plus or something like that, you're going to have the ability to resupply at some point in the middle of that. So, why overload yourself? This is just meant to give you like a very visual, physical example of what the max capacity of this fridge is and what the max capacity of each one of these baskets is. Now, this bunker style National Luna fridge has worked great for my application built into the back of this truck, but just because it works great here doesn't mean it's the only option out there. I'm definitely doing some research and a lot of consideration for the Sequoia build I'm doing. And some of the next videos I'm going to do are going to talk more to like the layout, pros and cons, and access of fridges depending on your overland build. Hey, check out my last video where I upgraded the faceplate on this, giving it Bluetooth connectivity so I could monitor it anywhere around the campsite or from the bed of my truck while driving down the road. I'm going to be launching a new program here that's really going to be community forward, and I'd love it if you went over and joined the email list. There's a link in the description section below over there to sign up. I hope that was helpful for you to visualize what you can fit in a 90-liter National Luna fridge to kind of identify what might be the right size fridge for you. If you have any questions, please throw them down in the comments section below. I really appreciate you watching the video. Have a good day.